The discovery of America by Christopher Columbus in 1492 is perhaps one of history's most widely promulgated and disingenuous fallacies. Not only is it now generally acknowledged that Norse Vikings discovered the continent nearly 1,000 years before Columbus, but there also exists strong evidence indicating that certain ancient civilizations, such as the Egyptians and Phoenicians, had also visited America in the distant pre-Columbian past. Besides all of this, the bones of red-haired giants unearthed in both South and North America point to the obvious truth that the Native Americans were not the first to inhabit the New World. Whereas the controversies concerning the discovery of America are well known, what is not well known is the controversy concerning the naming of America. In public school, we are erroneously taught that the Americas were named after Italian explorer and cartographer Amerigo Vespucci. The term America, we are told, is derived from the Latin version of Vespucci's first name, Americus. This fallacy was bolstered by one primary source, Waldseemüller's 1507 world map entitled Universalis Cosmographia, drafted by German cartographers Martin Waldseemüller and Matthias Ringmann. The map was the first to assign a name to the New World, America, which historians have proffered as proof that the continent was christened after Vespucci, since he held more firmly to the growing consensus that this was indeed a new world, and not the Indies, as Columbus believed. However, unbeknownst to most, Vespucci was not named Amerigo until after the naming of the New World on Waldseemüller's map, as writer Jan R. Carew records. Alberigo Vespucci and I deliberately use his authentic Christian name, a Florentine dilettante and rascal, corrected Columbus's error. Vespucci declared that what Columbus had indeed stumbled on was a new world. Alberigo was undoubtedly a Florentine dilettante, and an extraordinarily clever one. Why would he otherwise have changed his Christian name after his voyage to the Americas? In other words, writes author Steve Quayle in his book True Legends, the New World wasn't named after the mapmaker, but rather the mapmaker Vespucci named himself after the New World, and his friends and historians then claimed that the Americas were named after him. One of those claims came from a Florentine bishop of the time who boasted in a letter, "And well may our new world be named America, since its discovery was due to our eminent countryman, Amerigo Vespucci." This singular line from the bishop's letter has been touted by historians as proof that America was named after Vespucci. But aside from changing his name to match Waldseemüller's map, there are many other compelling arguments against America being named after Amerigo Vespucci. For starters, even if they had intended to name the New World after him, it is highly unlikely that Waldseemüller and Ringmann would have used Vespucci's first name instead of his last, as historian Alexander Del Mar notes. Had there been any intention to name the continent after Vespucci, his surname would have been used, so that the result would have been something like Vespugia instead of Ameriga. In short, there seems to be very little room to doubt that the world has been misled through the complimentary notice of the Florentine bishop who claimed the New World was named after Vespucci. What many American historians fail to mention or realize is that Native Americans have always had their own name for the New World. Historian Alec Locker elucidates. Children in America are taught that America came from Amerigo Vespucci, the Florentine mariner. Actually, the best evidence dating back to the earliest Spanish documents following Christopher Columbus shows that part of South America, from Venezuela to Peru, was called América by the Indians of that region. At least that is what the Spaniards understood. Various spellings of América occur in Spanish documents, beginning with the visit to that land by Alonso de Ojeda, with whom Vespucci sailed in 1499. Ojeda reported that he received friendly treatment at the hands of the Indians of Maracapana. Maracapana was also written as Amaracapana, the place where Columbus landed during his voyage past Trinidad and the Orinoco River a few years before Ojeda. Apparently, the Indians called the general area Amaraca, and Pana meant country or region. Later visitors to the western regions of South America found that the Incas called their region Amaruca. It seems plausible that Waldseemüller labeled that area of the New World America, not in hone of Amerigo Vespucci, but following the Spanish name derived from what the Indians call that part of the world. America, the continental name, also derives from an Indian word. Long before Europeans began making maps of the New World, the Native Americans called their land Amaracapana, or Amaraca for short. The spelling used today, writes Steve Quayle in True Legends, appears to have resulted when English explorer Sir Walter Raleigh wrote in his journals describing the New World as the beautiful valley of Amariochapana in 1595. A year later, Raleigh changed the spelling a bit more when describing Peru as all that tract and valley of America situated between the rivers Orinoco and Amazon. It is clear, then, that America was never named after or even by any European at all, but is an adaptation from the natives' own term, Amaraca, or alternatively, Amaruca. The spelling and pronunciation of the term was simply modified for European tongues, but its meaning remains the same. The meaning of Amaruca can be deduced by examining the name of the last ruler in the bloodline of the Inca emperors, Tupac Amaru. Tupac Amaru led the final insurrection against the Spaniards in Peru from the last stronghold of the Incas in Vilcabamba, but was summarily defeated and beheaded. His name holds the key to understanding the true connotation of the word America. Steve Quayle explains. Tupac was an Incan royalty title which meant one who glows or one who shines. Amaru means serpent, Quetzalcoatl. Additionally, Amaru in the Incan language also has connotations of being a serpent connected to the subterranean or underworld. In his acclaimed work, The Secret Teachings of All Ages, Manly P. Hall, quoting Theosophist author James Morgan Price, confirms the esoteric connotation behind the word America. These children of the sun adore the plumed serpent, who is the messenger of the sun. He was the god Quetzalcoatl in Mexico, Cucumats in Quiche, and in Peru he was called Amaru. From the latter name comes our word America. Amaruca is literally translated land of the plumed serpent. In order to fully grasp the implications of America, land of the plumed serpent, we need to explore the oldest religion on earth and its connection to the mythology of the three greatest civilizations that once existed in the Americas: the Mayans, the Aztecs, and the Incas. Stay tuned for part 2 of this analysis. Reporting for SteveQuayle.com, I'm Timothy Alberino, and that's my analysis.